In Undertown, Ben, Grandpa Max, and Rook are walking through the market, picking up strange ingredients for an alien recipe Max wants to try. The place is busy, loud, and full of weird smells. While Ben and Rook argue about whether one ingredient is even safe to touch, Max heads down another aisle to grab the last item on the list. Suddenly, Max comes running back, screaming at the top of his lungs. Right behind him is a huge bipedal tarantula, charging through the market and knocking over stalls. Shoppers panic and scatter in every direction. Rook reacts fast and fires his proto-tool at the creature, but the blast does absolutely nothing. The monster doesn't even slow down. Ben jumps into action and transforms into feedback, firing energy straight at it. But before he can do much, Rook shouts that it's useless. The creature doesn't just resist electricity, it absorbs it. Every attack is making it stronger. The tarantula lunges forward, but Max suddenly appears in the proto-truck and slams into it, knocking it back. While the monster is distracted, feedback grabs onto it and starts draining the energy it has stored. Slowly, the creature weakens. Its glowing fades. Then, shockingly, the monster collapses and changes back into a man. It's Phil. Weak and barely able to stand, Phil begs Max for help. He explains that 5 years ago, Malware and Dr. Psychobos used him as a test subject. They attached the Nemetrix to him and sent him after Ben as an experiment, but Phil couldn't control the device. The alien instincts took over his mind, piece by piece. After he failed, they dumped him back into the Null Void and left him there. Before Phil can finish explaining, he suddenly screams in pain. His body twists again, turning back into the tarantula. He completely loses control and crawls up a pipe, escaping before anyone can stop him. The hunt starts all over again. Later, while searching Bellwood, Ben notices something strange. Streetlights in the distance keep flickering on and off. The trio rushes toward the area and find Phil draining power directly from the city's power lines. Rook tries to fire again, but his proto-tool battery is almost empty. Ben tries to turn into feedback, but the Omnitrix glitches and gives him Frankenstrike instead. Frankenstrike attacks Phil with brute force, but it barely slows him down. Using quick thinking, Ben leads Phil into a construction site. Rook drops a massive concrete pipe on him and seals it off with steel beams and dirt. For the moment, Phil is trapped. They agree Phil needs to be contained somewhere safe while they work on a cure. Back at Plumber headquarters, Phil is locked in a cell and hooked up to monitoring equipment. Ben, Rook, and Max watch from outside. Max is uneasy about Phil being connected to wires, but Driba assures him the setup is passive and harmless. He explains that exposure to the Nemetrix may have scrambled Phil's DNA, creating a constant electric field that forces these transformations. Midway through the explanation, Bluekick notices something alarming. The base's power core is reacting to Phil's presence. His electric field is spreading. Max yells for them to disconnect Phil immediately, but Driba realizes it's already too late. Phil breaks free. Ben transforms into Shock Squatch to stop him, but that only gives Phil more energy to absorb. Phil escapes again, stronger than before. Max and Rook arrive just as Ben switches to Amphibian and overloads Phil with energy. For a moment, it works. Then Phil speaks, and his words are chilling. He admits that there hasn't been a Phil inside the body for years. Whatever humanity he once had is gone. The creature grabs Ben and kidnaps him before anyone can react. Phil reaches the power core and tries to absorb it, but Max activates a security shield just in time. Enraged, Phil beats both Ben and Rook and flees to Undertown, planning to drain energy from the Nosdenians themselves. Ben, Rook, and Max follow and try to stop him using concussive force, but it has no effect. Ben transforms into Bushok and realizes the truth. Phil's electric field is interfering with the Omnitrix, forcing Ben to only access electric aliens. As the Nosdenians evacuate, Bushok rallies them together. They scatter, regroup, and lead Phil on a chaotic chase through the streets. Phil grows angrier by the second. Finally, he catches Bushok and prepares to drain him completely. At the last second, Max and Rook crash in with a proto-truck carrying a Null Void Projector. Phil disables it instantly, but Bushok jumps free and charges the device himself. The portal activates and begins pulling Phil in. Desperate, Phil begs for mercy. Max hesitates, then decides this is the consequence of everything Phil has done. The portal pulls Phil back into the Null Void, ending the threat once and for all. Afterward, Max is quiet and clearly shaken. Sending Phil away wasn't easy. Ben tries to lighten the mood and asks if they can finally finish shopping for the ingredients. Max smiles sadly and agrees.